Welcome back, everyone. This is the fourth Main City Radio podcast. I'm joined with DJ Oracle. This is RWINK7, and today we're going to go over a few updates that have happened and discuss a few other Main City items. Do you want to give a shout out, DJ Oracle?
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to everybody who's listening. Shout out to all the new listeners. Shout out to everybody who's been listening since day one. Remember to like, subscribe, and thank you guys for sticking around.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Definitely check down in the description below. We're going to have a few links for you guys to explore for a project we're going to be discussing a little bit. But first off, we would like to discuss the big update that's happened, the auctions. So auctions have finally made their way to the main city marketplace, which is, quite fantastic. So I'm going to just give us a quick, brief overview of how the auctions actually work, just quick, and then we're going to share our experience and then discuss some other features that we'd like to see. So briefly here, when you list a business or you see a business listed, it is going to be listed for a 24-hour auction. And then it's listed at whatever you want to list it at. So you'll see a lot listed at, 1,000 vouchers or 2,000 vouchers, whatever it might be. So that's going to be the first bid price. So whatever you list it at, that's what the first bid price is going to be. As soon as the first bid is placed, there's a 30-minute timer that starts. So after 30 minutes, if nobody else has placed a bid, then the person that placed that initial bid wins that auction. And now they are the owner of that business. Now, if somebody comes along within the first 10 minutes of you placing a bid and they place a second bid, then the timer goes from that 20-ish minutes that was there down to 10 minutes. Okay, so once it hits that 10 minutes, it becomes a little bit more of a competitive auction, and then you can, start to bid on it. If it's outside of that initial first 10 minutes, right? So if the timer hits 15 minutes left, for example, and somebody comes and puts a bid on it, then it goes back to 30 minutes. Okay. And then if the next person puts a bid within the 10 minutes, it'll go back down to 10 to get it to be a little bit more of a competitive auction, right? And so every time a new bid is placed, if it's within the 10 minutes of the last bid, it's just going to go back up to 10 minutes. So that's basically the gist of how the market works. You're using vouchers. The vouchers are going to be put in reserve once you place a bid. And, the rest of the market is basically the same as it was before. If anything doesn't get bought at auction, then it moves over to the second tab, which is your market tab. And that's where you'll find anything that did not get purchased during auction, and you can purchase it without any issues for whatever the value or the ask price is. So I think I got most of that there. Did you want to start off maybe with how you felt the auctions and everything have been working and whether they've been implemented well?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for breaking it all down. It was pretty well done. So yeah, once it's in the market, you go from the auction tab to the market tab. And somebody in the plaza was saying that they should probably combine the market and the auction tab, and we should be able to kind of like toggle between them. Um,
Yeah, sort
but
of like
anyways,
the CDC NFT platform, right? You can click on auctions or you can click on buy now. I think that would be a good feature.
yeah, yeah. And so yeah, another thing that you were mentioning earlier is that we can't put anything less than 1,000 vouchers. So it's like 1 crore pretty much. So that's the starting price. From there, you can before it used to be like 1 crore, 2 crore, but you can actually now list it for 1.5 crore, which is 1,500 vouchers. Um, and so far I haven't been outbid yet. so I haven't had that experience. So far, everything's been going through, and I do like it so far. I'm expecting it to be more active during competition mode, especially because how you said that if they put the first bid within the 10 minutes, then it's gonna reset to 10 minutes. So it's gonna be kind of like a back and forth, trying to get that business within, because it's competition. We're all trying to place the businesses that we're trying to get as fast as we can. So that's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah, and I imagine once a business is placed, right, like that 10-minute timer, I don't see somebody waiting until the 10-minute timer is almost out to place a bid. Like it's going to be basically a fight right at the start until somebody gets a high enough bid, and then it's just going to be 10 minutes after that they've won the auction and they can place their business.
Yeah, it's pretty much gonna come down to what's your limit? What's the most that you're willing to spend for whatever businesses that you're bidding on, right? Everybody's got that extra little 500 or 1,000, an extra 1,000, like, but because we never know what the limits are. Somebody's always gonna end up walking away with
Yeah,
saying, "Okay, I'm tapping out," and somebody would like, "Yes, I stuck around."
and good to bring that up too, right? Like there's a minimum increase, right? So it needs to be 1,000 voucher in minimum or 5%, right? So typically it's these lower value ones that we see, we're just bidding it up 1,000 vouchers, so 1 crow every time. Um, but once you get into these higher valued businesses, they're probably going to be 5% increases. So that'll be interesting to see, on something like 100,000 voucher business, right? The next basic minimum bid could be it will be 1,500, or sorry, 105,000 vouchers, right? So that's that 5 extra crow that needs to be put up on the 100 crow initial bid.
Yeah. So people that are gonna go for those Apex and the arcades, all the big boys at the top, yeah, they'll probably go by the 5% increase.
Yeah, exactly. Because once you're over that, you know, I guess what is it? At 10. Anyways, basically for the little guys, you're going to be doing 1,000 voucher increases. Once you get into the higher businesses, you're going to be doing a 5,000 or 5% increase. It won't be just a 1,000 voucher. But I did get outbid, surprisingly. Meta did outbid me on one business. So the only way I knew that, though, was in my inbox. It sent a notification saying Meta has outbid you on this business. And then I went and checked the business on auctions, right? But it does not say
Mhm.
his name there. It just says other bidder.
Oh, okay. That's a good point. So, first, that's two good points to bring up. First, that you don't have to stay looking at your business to see if you get outbidded. You're gonna get a notification in the inbox letting you know that somebody outbidded you. And then the second good thing is that in the inbox is gonna tell you who it is, because then when you go to the market, it won't tell you. Right? That's what it is, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So your inbox
Okay.
is going to give you that notification of who outbid you. But then once you look at the business, it doesn't show who the bidder is. It just says other bidder. Now, for me, that's a change I would like to see implemented. It would be nice to be able to display the bidding ledger, right? So, like, who was the initial bidder? So, at least then I mean, who is bidding and, a little bit more information around how steep the competition is, right? Like,
Yeah, because it is a city and most of us kind of like know each other by name. So the fact that we can see like kind of like who's fighting for the business or whatever, like it brings more action to the city, to the players, to the community, to the family to see each other's names.
well, and that's it, right? And like, if I see Crypto Diamond and Hayton bidding on a business, I'm probably just gonna walk away.
I'll just get some popcorn and watch it from the
Exactly.
sidelines.
Just watch the numbers skyrocket. It's like, who's
That's a
going to
good
win this
point.
one? Yeah. But I mean, otherwise, the experience I've had so far has been pretty good. I know I've been not super active, but I try to check it a couple times a day. See what's going on. Especially when it comes to some of the businesses that I know people are using to merge. I try to, I've been picking up some records and stuff like that, trying to make my own, trying to compete with you on your high quality records. But
There you go.
don't know if I'll get to
Friendly
that point.
competition.
Yeah, you and Gary both got some really nice ones. But yeah,
Yeah, trying to work on those bazaars too.
yeah, the bazaars always have a premium, it seems. But yeah, there's always some for 1,000 vouchers. Like honestly, just before we started recording, I picked up a 2-star Cool Cats for 1,000 vouchers. Surprisingly,
Yeah, and I think most of the people that are putting those out is people that get them from a BP, from a blueprint. So they really don't. They just want to get those vouchers. They're like, oh, I know I can sell it for more, but I kind of just got it from the blueprint. So if it doesn't sell, I gotta put it at a low price. But for people who need them, it's great deals. So that's the good thing about the market.
exactly. And maybe they think that right now the market's not super hot, not a very active auction, but maybe they're pricing it lower, hoping that they get into a bidding war. Right? A couple people get in, and it's like, yeah, I'd give you 2,000 vouchers for that, and then 3,000, 4,000, 8,000 just to stop people. Someone else comes in, who knows, right? People might get
Yeah,
excited if it's a really nice business.
yeah. What I do see active in the market is actually the blueprints. They haven't gone in a while lower than 3K or 3 crow. They've been at 3,000. Yesterday, I picked up like three or four that were at 3,000. And I actually beat it on them, and nobody outbid me. Because speaking of, I've noticed that for my experience on the auction, um, I usually try to pick up everything from the auction because the same business that's in the auction, it's gonna be maybe even 500K or half a crow, like 500K vouchers more expensive in the market. So I think usually people are picking up things from the market because once it goes from the auction to the market, you can't just increase the price. It has to stay the same price that you put it in auction. Because if you try to increase the price or change the price, then you have to remove it, change the price, and it will go back into auction before it goes back to market.
Yeah, exactly. And I've sort of noticed that things at like 1,000 vouchers up to like 1,500 vouchers is sort of the sweet spot where it's likely going to get sold. And then sort of anything above that, it's like hit and miss, and chances are it's going to go to the market off auction. So yeah, it definitely is a hot market. If you see a business at 1,000 vouchers, unless it's a Panthera, it's probably going to sell.
Yeah, especially there's really good deals, like you were saying, when it comes to quality. Get a put the filter, put quality twos, and start from there, and you can catch some good deals. A little hint, hint.
Yeah, even if it's 2 crow, right? 2,000 vouchers. That's, you know,
Yeah, we were talking about that.
yeah, it's a minimum two businesses there in my eyes, plus 300 or 3 million diamonds, right? Just to merge those two 1 stars.
Yeah, because it really sucks when you build up a business from 1 star to even if it's up to 3 stars, just to lose it when you can just buy it at 3 stars from the market.
Yeah, exactly. I'd almost like to see if, maybe something where if you were the one to build it up, it increases your merge opportunity, right? Whereas, like, if you buy it off the market, it's going to be less of a percentage for your merge success.
Don't give them bad ideas.
Yeah.
I don't.
No, hey,
No, but
I'm
I see
not
what you're
talking
saying.
lowering
Like,
that 90%. I want to see it get to like 90 across the board almost. So, you're not
yeah, no,
wasting
I see
your
what.
P7 or your
Uh,
Q7s.
yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's in development. So I guess some other features, now that this has been released, items that other people had been calling out that they'd like to see included. especially on like the city plaza and game recommendations or game feedback. So there was one big one that I really think, and it's sort of tied together almost, and that's history, right? So history for me is broken down into like three main categories, if you want to call it. So there's the business history, right? So the history of that specific business. Then there's also the history of the market for those businesses. And then there's also your market buys and sells, purchase and selling history. So I think that is information that should be started to be captured. So that way, they're calling out these play fairs and people are selling businesses too cheap, but nobody knows what businesses sell for, right? There's no history. There's no way for us to be like, well, this P70, Apex sells for 600,000 vouchers, right? And that's the last sale that was made, right? So you go, okay, well, if that's what it last sold for, if I want to sell it quick, maybe I'll put it at 560,000. Or if I'm willing to wait it out, put it at 600 and whatever, 650,000, whatever. Right? But without that history to tell us what's been selling, then it kind of makes it hard to judge the value.
Yeah, kind of like the NFTs on the crypto.com app, right? Where it says you go to history and it says, well, maybe they bought it at this price, but they couldn't move it, so they lower the price. So yeah, that's a good feature. So we can, especially in competition mode, because once it gets closer to the end of the competition, we're gonna have to lower the prices regardless. So it's good to see. Like, I don't want to lower too much, So yeah, so we can kind of get an idea of what's a fair price.
Yeah, exactly. And just, I think the more information, the more data that they're able to give us, it just helps us all make decisions that are financially sound, if you want to call it that, as we gamble on a NFT game, right? But also, I guess going back to like markets, right? The concept of like it moving from auction to market and then us having to like remove it and put it back up on auction. It would be nice to see if like it moved to market, if we were able just to put in offers, right? And just say like, I know you've got it listed at 20,000 vouchers. Would you take 16,000? Right? And that just gives them, they can say yes or no, right? Accept the offer or not, just like what we'd have with the NFTs.
Yeah, like this is the price or better offer.
Yeah, exactly, right? So if you get a
Yeah, that would
lower
be perfect
offer,
for
just
competition.
hmm? Sorry.
Yeah, no, no, you were saying it'll be perfect for competitions because maybe they're not willing to pay what you're saying, but they're willing to pay a little more, and it's a win-win because the business don't go to just to waste. Because again, after the competition modes, all the businesses get burned. Everything. The only thing that we keep is part of the gold and some of the diamonds if the faction wins. So it would be good to say, somebody's willing to pay that, and so better offer. Send some offers. So that's a great idea, Arwink, to be able to send offers.
Yeah, I think it just would add an extra dynamic, right? It'd be nice being able to open up, and it's almost like an auction, anyways, right? Once it goes to marketplace, yeah, sure, it takes 24 hours, but you'd open up your inbox and you'd see six or seven different offers. You go through them and go, sure, let's sell it to this guy.
Hmm.
This guy's offering me, 75% of what I had it listed at. So, I mean, take what you can get at that point, right? Instead of having to go
Yeah,
back in, relist it on auction at that price and hope the dude sees it and buys it, right? Instead, you could just
yeah.
accept it. So,
Hope that it's within somebody's budget, right?
yeah, exactly. Um,
Instead of them telling us what their budget is, and we'll be like, okay, I can work with that.
yeah, exactly. I mean, being able to just say, "Hey, I'm want it for this. Let me know." You know,
Yeah, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought about that, but that's a great idea.
yeah, because like right now, there's a couple arcades sitting on the marketplace, and there's like one at 200,000 vouchers, and then there's one at 199,000 vouchers. I'm just like, well, it'd be nice just to be like, guys, I'll give you like 175,000 or something like that, and see if one of them would bite. I'm just going to use it to merge or whatever, right? Doesn't Probably wouldn't buy it anyways. Still too much.
Yeah, I know, dude. I was looking at my arcade and my both my arcade and my Apex, and they're both quality too. And I was like, wow, I can't believe I was actually brave enough to merge them.
I, I I did it for my main motors only because I had some luck and it opened a few from like the uncommon blueprints, the actual blue ones. So I was like, I'll risk it, see what I can get. But yeah, I mean, and then I guess now that we're sort of speaking about higher rarity businesses as well, this is sort of the last feature that sort of came up, and one that I wanted to bring up today was adding a rarity count to businesses. You know what I mean? Especially now that we've got quality, right? So they can take quality as well as the tier rarity, right? So like, how many epic, or I guess really, how many banks, right, at Q5 are there right now, in the
Hmm.
whole game,
Yeah,
right?
to
Whether
have a
it's placed on
comparison.
people's land or in the marketplace. It'd just be kind of nice to be like, at least then you could say, like, I know I've got a rare business. It would also help with pricing it if you go to sell it, right? If it's a one of one business, you're not going to sell it for a crow. Like, you sort of want to know what it's worth. You want to know what its rarity is, right? So I think that would also be a big help, is adding that. Now that's a little bit of a harder implementation, I think, just because there's so many businesses out there, and it's like, how do you really, I guess, are they able to, in the back end data that they have for the businesses, understand which one, which quality they are and all that, and separate out that type of information and bring it in as like a zero out of, zero listed or five listed out of like 100,000, or is how many businesses are there even really, and it's always going to be fluctuating because people are buying a business, merging it, making a new one. So it's, now you've merged a couple, and now there's, five banks instead of four that are now Q3 or whatever, right? So I think that would be the hardest one to implement, but I still think it would be really cool to see.
Yeah, it'll probably be hard to like write a code that says, okay, how many out of how many, like, so, like there's two out of this, but it'll probably be easier to put like a counter,
Yeah,
like
just
saying, okay,
total.
there's been one apex open. Now there's two apex open from the blueprint. Now there's three apex open, and so that can kind of give a better idea of what's out there already in the market. And you're right, because we think that an arcade is rare, but what if there's three or four, and so maybe they get a little rare, or six or seven, right? And what if there's only two?
Yeah, exactly, right? And I'm always a fan of the arcades over Apex, to be honest. Like, little bit cheaper diamonds and also a higher top end roll. I just find a little more attractive, but that's also because I'm not
Yeah,
rolling with 10 million diamonds per hour generation. So
yeah, I was gonna say the apex is pretty much flexing.
yeah,
If you really want to get the gold up, I don't know, maybe two arcades might be better than one arcade and one apex, but I do have one apex and one tower for cosmetics.
yeah, no, I just got myself an Apex as well, strictly just to say I have one. We'll see if I can get it up to my prestige level. It's it's going to be a grind.
I'm, I'm telling you, bro, do like one or two prestige in the day. That's what I'm doing with that bank that I told you that it was the bank that was P17, because I put my P100 something on sale, which hasn't sold. But anyways, the one that was 17, my bank, now is 20. So little by little.
Yeah, that's true. I do have over 1 billion diamonds to spend. Just been stacking them. I did do a little bit of prestiging the other day because I fell from I was at like 100 or at least in the 120s or top 120, and then I was sort of getting pushed out of that. So I was like, I'll just do a couple of prestiges here, and got myself back into like 110 or 112 or something like that. But
Yeah, I try to make sure that that I get close to a legion. So, and I'm close to one right now. I should attack.
yeah,
No.
I've been having a little bit of a row with Panda right recently, so that's been fun.
Shout out to Panda.
Yeah, yeah. And they got a nice chain gang dark lion, so
Oh,
rocking.
nice.
Yeah, very nice one. All right. Well, I
That
mean,
means the game.
yeah. Speaking, I guess, of other, I guess we'll use this as a transition. Let's talk a little bit about Hayton's project that he's got going on, the Lionel the Lion.
Yeah, so Hayden is doing a project that is, the tag name is Lion. And he started that project with Agent Fun. I think it's called. It's an AI.
Yeah, Agent
Um,
Fun AI or something like that. AI built bots.
AI agent. Yeah. And so from there, like it's literally from the ground up because you have to really graduate. You have to like get your volume up, trading up, and according to the volume that it has, you start getting you graduate. So the token did pretty good. It graduated, and Hayton's roadmap is to really, and he already started to integrate it to the main city, to the main city game. Again, he knows that most of us are main city centric, and I think that should be for all of the pro fam because this game main city is pretty much like the main game from crypto.com. The lands and everything should be surrounding this. So I'm glad that Hayton is doing it surrounding the game as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where he had said like it's main city focused right now, but the end of the project is not just to be main city, right? Like it's really in just to give, I guess, a real quick overview of what Lion is. It's a Web3 game utility NFT lending platform, right? So for myself, I've got a bunch of spare tools that really I equip just because I can equip them. They give me like 0.01% modification bonus, right? So it's like it's literally useless to equip them. I would get a lot more benefit if I could just like put them into like a package almost, right? Wrap them up and like put them into a lending platform and then have somebody else, technically own them for a competition and they get them lent out. I get the lending fees that come to me or whatever, right? And they're able to use those for their competition, right? So it's a way to be able to lend out assets so that other people can try out the game with higher level assets at a very cheap, lending protocol. A second thing that he's also got going on is ranking bonuses, right? So if you rank well in main city, there's rewards. He's been giving out over $1,000 worth of NFTs already, so that's pretty cool. And then the last sort of major thing, which is staking. So Lion token is going to be available to be staked on, I believe it's Obsidian, coming up in the next couple weeks. So definitely need to check out the Discord. I'll put the link in my description below. So yeah, join the Discord if you're interested in learning more about the project.
Yes, it's a great project because of the different features that it's gonna provide. Like the first one that you said about lending the tools, because you're absolutely right. Like somebody that has, like me, I have a lot of, like you said, tools that are only giving me a small percentage. But somebody who doesn't have any, those two, three tools, because they're the first one for them, they're gonna really top them off in their percentage. So to them, it's gonna be a lot more worth than for me to have it sitting around and whatever fee it's good, whatever fee they seem fit. It's better than me having collecting dust. So and it also gives the opportunity to that other player to not have to pay full price to own the whole NFT, but just be able to rent it if you might say while they're using it for the competition, help them place up there better than they would if they didn't have the NFTs. Get their winnings and then send them back. Thank you very much. See you in the next competition. Rinse and repeat.
No, exactly, right? And like, you could even make it as like a competitive package, right? So I'm gonna give you a navigator and maybe a couple flashlights and some of the gauntlets and grappling hook and maybe a jacket and I got a extra shovel or something like that, right? And then I've got like four backpacks I could also put into that package so they have enough capacity to use it all, and lend it out for I don't know, a couple dollars, $5 or whatever for the competition, or if it's the big one, right? It's like lend it out to you for $1 a day or something. I don't know, whatever it comes out to be, whatever the market rate comes out to be. I'm speculating, right? So I don't know what people would value that at, but that's sort of what I see as an interesting aspect because even these smaller ones, right? Like Hayton hasn't really been active on these 3-day showdowns. It's not really something that he's interested in participating in, but he's got lots of NFT assets that he could lend out, right? So there's going to be that potential other avenue to make rental money off of some of these pieces of main city utility NFTs.
Yeah, and it would also help actually to bring the floor price of these NFTs probably a little higher, because after the person rents for the first competition, they rent the NFTs and they realize how much of a difference it makes. Maybe they could use some of their winnings from the competition to actually get their own land and get, so it'll incentivize to get these new players to actually be more invested in the game and start buying things here and there. Maybe you could even do the rent to buy, but I don't know, that's too complicated. But yeah, even a dune, maybe a dune. I'm not using a dune, so kind of do it like I guess like a care package that they use in some of those Call of Duty, or whatever they do, like a whole little a care package. They get
Yep.
airdrops. So yeah,
Yep.
I'll give you my dune with like you said, a shovel. Maybe I don't you need all of the smog grenades for sure.
Right. The amount of smoke grenades and turbines I have.
You can have all these turbines and grenades.
Yeah. Don't worry. You'll be well protected from those the veil of venom.
Yeah. So
But
yeah,
yeah,
that's a great feature.
yeah, and instead of buying one and seeing how it plays out, like fuck, it could be 50 cents for a whole package. I mean, they're sitting there doing zero for me at this point, right? Or maybe giving me like 10,000 per hour, right, on a dune, whatever. If I'd have to check actually. Let me see what my worst dune is producing right now. But
Oh, okay.
that's something you could easily, allow. Like I could put up a dune for sure, right? To be able to be like, I'm going to take a little bit of a hit, but at least it's guaranteed rental income, right? Yeah. So like
Yeah.
my dune, my lowest level, I've got plot number 32. It's at 57K per hour, so still decent, right? Like it's still a good builder, but like somebody renting it would probably, put up a couple bucks instead of, having to buy one for $40 on the market just to try and see, hey, is it going to help me that much, right?
Yeah, especially because of the diminishing returns. Their first their first dune it'll be more useful, that one dune, than for us that is like our 10th or 11th or whatever. But because it's their first, it's gonna be a whole lot more advantage for them, and it doesn't really affect that much in ours.
Yeah, exactly. And it would also boost all of their errors. So that's a big thing too. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, anyways, so if people are interested, I think that's where we'll sort of leave our shilling of the Lion project. But it's pretty cool. Main city focused right now, but not limited. Hopefully to main city. It's going to be integrated if everything goes well with this lending platform. It can be used to lend any type of Web3 game utility NFT.
Yeah, and like you said, you have the links down there. So to get all the details, all the roadmap, just go to the Discord for Lion. Everybody, again, it's a great community, and it'll have all the links and all the full information in there.
Exactly. And Hayden's very knowledgeable, obviously, on any project, especially on his own. So he'll be more than willing to let you in on everything. So
Yeah. Yep.
I
Yep.
guess we
Yep.
could. Yep. Did you have anything else to say, or we can move on to maybe a little bit of discussion around the Cyber Cubs, some of the Christmas Showdown results, and then we can get into partners.
Yeah. Let's go to the next item in the agenda.
Right on. And I'll let you kick this off because you noticed something going on with the Cyber Cubs that you wanted to share, right?
Oh, yes, yes. So usually what I do with my laptop, because I pretty much only use it for music mixing or just music and the main city. So I don't really have anything else running in my laptop. So I usually keep it running with main city on. And like we talked about earlier about the Cubs. Well, I'm not sure we talked about earlier about the Cubs, but the Cubs they come every 4 hours. There's
Yes.
a maximum of 10 rewards per 24-hour period. And so speaking of that, they come every 4 hours. If you're playing the game, it'll come every on the spot. But I've noticed that when I have the laptop closed, and it doesn't matter at what time I open it, I get one Cyber Cup delivery. As soon as I open it, I start hearing that tan, 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 tan. And
Yeah.
so I just gotta look for that little van, and I get one prize, and it's only one prize, but it's usually it hasn't felt in a long time that I put the laptop away for hours. It doesn't matter at what time again I don't get disconnected from the game. I keep it logged in. I just close my laptop, and it's been like pretty much every time that I open the laptop and I get that one little guy, and that's it. Even if it's not delivery time, I still get that one guy.
Yeah, and I've noticed that recently, especially after you had mentioned it to me. And it was funny, right after we were talking about it, the next two that I had show up in that manner, right? Just open my laptop. It wasn't delivery time. Speaking of which, I believe it's like 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And every 4 hours, sort of from there. And competition, I believe, is like 10, 9 or 10. It's like either 1 or 2 hours offset. But, anyways, he delivered me 1 million diamonds twice in a
No
row.
way!
Yeah. I was like,
What?
holy man, he's giving me better deals when I ignore him and then just open up the laptop later on than I get when I actually catch them.
He was like, "You're not paying attention to me."
Yeah. I got to give you something really good. Then you're going to be chasing me down. And since then, I've been like, oh, I got to try and find these little guys. But because I'm the worst with it, I always miss them. Even when, you know, Dikembo, he has a bot set up in the Legion, or he did at one point. It sort of malfunctioned, and I think he's still trying to iron the bugs out of it. But he had that going to notify people, and I'd always miss it still.
Yeah, and that's a good point because on the voice side, we usually a member who's logged in or whenever he's aware, we kind of send out the messages. But yeah, I gotta tell Hayden if we can do a bot as well. And speaking of, just a little quick side note. Speaking of the factions, I just wanted to say thank you to the Legion side for having me in their general Discord. I'm not picking up no secrets, but they're welcoming to a fellow Void to be in the Discord. So shout out to the Legion.
Yeah, hey, I know the Void's got the similar sort of setup, right? They've got the general unverified chat, and so I'm in there every once in a while. I always update you guys on the capybara stuff going on, and it's always a good spot. You guys are more on it than I think the Legion are. So, but yeah, we've got the same sort of situation with the Discord for Legion. We're gonna verify you, just to make sure that you're not bouncing around from Legion to Void. It's the same with the Void, right? You guys got your verified
Yes,
chat, so
every time.
yeah.
every Yeah, especially in the competitions because the competitions, it's and on the regular mode, for those who don't know, in the regular mode, we can choose factions every 30 days. So you're good for 30 days, and then you have to recommit or change your mind, whatever your experience is. And so it's not that big of a deal. But every competition, we also have the option. And so yeah, on the voice side, we even if it's a little bit of a hard work, just send me that screenshot, and I'll verify you on the voice side. So
Interesting. Okay,
yeah.
so you guys do it every competition then, huh?
Yeah, we ask for a screenshot every competition for every member. I mean, we know that you're there. I know them by name. I'm like I know you who you are, bro. But just to make sure, we need you to send the screenshot for every single competition.
Interesting. 'Cause so what we do is we verify your past competition, and
Uh,
basically you can only from 6 to 14, right? That's six is event 6 was the first event with factions. So we go through
mhm.
and we just check that you haven't been basically you had to have played Legion for every single competition, except for we allow for like 2 or 3 to be able to get into the actual verified chat.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, see, we
So a
got
little bit
different things
different of
going on, but
verification
still,
method, different.
yeah, yeah, but still, I love, like we always say, still Crow fam.
Well, and that's it. I mean, there's still, there's secrets and coordination that everybody's doing, but ours is more of just a general like this is, because I don't know if it'd be cool to be able to see how you guys coordinate, but at this point, I'm so far into the Legion, I can't.
Yeah,
That's
and we wouldn't let you anyways.
yeah, yeah, I knew it. No,
Nice try, buddy.
speaking of which, it's almost like can I just like not have this 30-minute or the 30-day thing pop up? It's always like, hey, do you want to switch factions? I'm just like, no, I don't. I lock in for like a half a year. But yeah, anyway, so we've got one more competition coming up, right? So we've got the New Year's Showdown. I don't think we have
New
anything
Year
else
children.
schedule for the Cubs to talk about. So maybe we could just discuss quickly how our Christmas Showdown went. I know you were on vacation, and I was able to play a little bit more active than I have in the past, with it being sort of the start of my vacation. Um, but that single click that really
I
threw
was
me
gonna
for a
ask
loop.
you, tell me how it went with that single click. What was your experience versus
See, so I'm I'm not the best with like it's really hard to really rationalize it, right? Because the hard part is like you're also subjected to the randomness of the blueprints that you get, right? So that's it. But I mean, I'm not gonna say that the single click isn't the isn't a good thing. I mean, if you enjoy the extra clicks, but I think I'm gonna be sticking with my 10x for the most part, especially because like I'll watch it, right? So like I sort of watch the numbers and I know the range that I can hit. So when I see a couple of bad rolls in a row, I'll switch from like 1x to 10x and sort of play that game. So like if I get a couple really bad 1x's, I'm like, okay, there's got to be a really good 10x coming, and I'll do 10x for a couple times until I get it. Because then if you get that 10x roll on a really good roll, that's I mean that's 10 1x top end range rolls, right? So that's really helpful. But I get the point, right? If you roll low end, your lowest range, 5 10x's in a row, that's it's going to significantly decrease your income. But I found that the single click may have given me like a slight little extra, but when I wake up in the middle of the night and I just got to the next prestige on a business and I'm sitting there like 1x clicking like half asleep, it was not fun. And I will admit I cheated a bit. I had to press 10x a couple times. I was like, I just need to do it. I need to go back to bed. So, but I mean, I tried my best, and I'll say it was interesting. But yeah, it's really hard to, unless I had the exact same setup 2 times in a row, to really. see where I ended up, right? Like, did that 1x get me that one extra prestige more than the last time I had that same setup?
Mhm. Yeah, it's like even like Hugh Pack. Shout out to Hugh Pack. He was like, "Yeah, I took the DJ Oracle challenge
Yeah,
because it is a challenge to try to sit there and click the ones, you know." And like I tell people, to me, it's already a habit, so I don't see it as much as a as a burden. But I'm not gonna lie. In my mainland, I only do that for my epics. Everything in my mainline, I do 1x. But once I go to my fourth land, when it's all cook heads just to fulfill the requirements, I do 100, 100, 100, then 10, 10, 10, then 1, 1, 1. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I do everything one click. But when it comes to competition mode, yes, I do one click for the most, and until I have like enough prestige, let's say prestige 4 or whatever, and then I need a few cool cats to fulfill. I'm not gonna do the one click on the fillers, but I'm gonna do the one click on my main businesses. And then again, it's easier for me because I'm used to it already, and because of a laptop. Here goes another pro tip: when you're with the mouse, and I've tried a mouse, even though it's my laptop, I tried with the mouse, and I was like click, 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 and I had to take it off because it's easier to tap on the laptop than to click on the mouse.
yeah, yeah. I found that, and I even just use my touch screen. Like, I've got a Surface laptop, and I love the touch screen. I just sit there and just tap it. It's so much quicker.
Right?
Yeah, it's nice, but I'll leave you to your single clicks. I'm gonna continue with my 10x's. But
Would- You're a gentleman for trying it out. I appreciate that.
hey, I'm always down for a science experiment. So, hey, I can't say that I performed worse, right? So I definitely either
Okay.
performed about the same, or maybe I would say maybe even gave me 1 or 2% better roll, right? Like, I didn't see it significantly being like, wow, look at this. This is way better than I ever remember anything else ever being rolled. But I do feel like I placed decent. Um, but again, it's just there's so many variables to really pare it down to being like it was the single click that made the difference.
Yeah, but I like what you said. At least the single click didn't put you behind more than it would have. Like, so it's not a failure, but it's not necessarily everybody's cup of tea.
No, exactly. And I might, now I might throw in a bit more single clicks and try to, I was, when I first started playing, like I said earlier, I was watching the numbers and I would see, like, if I got a really good spin, right? And then I would do another 10x. And then I'd be like,
Mhm.
okay, that was a really bad 10x. I'm going to go do a couple 1x's. And I do the 1x's until I see some really bad, like a couple bad ones in a row. And then I'm like, okay, there's no way I'm going to have another two bad ones. So then I'd switch over and do a couple 10X's, right? So I'd almost play that game of like, watch the number going up and know what my roll should have been, right? So I'd be like, okay, it should be, I should be getting, 1,000, right? So it should be like, let's say, for example, I'm at 150,000 or whatever, right? Should be like, okay, so I should roll to like 152. And if I see it stay at 150, it's like, ooh, that was a bad roll. Okay, let's do another 1x. Ooh, that was a really
Mhm.
bad roll. Okay, I gotta have a good roll coming up next. I'm gonna do a couple 10x's, right? Because if it's a good roll, I mean, a 10x.
Yeah, good. All you needed is that one good roll. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's sort of the tactic that I try to employ somewhat. But sometimes I'm just too lazy as well, and it's just 10x, 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 10x the whole time, and until it gets to where I need to be.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about the game, though, that there's no specific way of playing it. Everybody has their own style, and that's what we all plays differently. There's no like it's not just like a Mario that you have to kind of like do the same things to kind of get over the levels and find the princess. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And well, that's, even when you say like we all play differently, right? Like for me, I'm not much of an attacker. I'm more of a retaliator, right? So if somebody attacks me, I'll try to make sure I can attack them back. Whereas like I usually try to save my diamonds more for buying like a good booster, right?
Hmm.
But that's there's just the difference in the play styles. I'm more of a passive player, right? So I'm not like, I
Mhm.
don't want to be activating defenses and trying to attack people all the time. I'm just sort of like, check in every couple hours. How's my businesses doing? Level them all up with my 10x and then put a booster on and close the laptop and come back in a couple more hours.
Yeah, and that's a great point because many people at the top, they literally have different timers. And for me, at least for me, when I'm at work and I take my laptop and I kind of sneak in a little here and there, I would try to like attack every half an hour, but it's hard to kind of like keep up and then you're in the job. But I am more of a defensive, but I started off as a very defensive, and in the last few competitions, I've noticed the advantage of if I want to stay away from a laptop to put up those defenses up. Especially if I win them in the daily
Yeah.
roar or on the daily boosters, on the daily,
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah,
those are the ones I'll use. And obviously, I try to use my daily attacks. And if I get some from the roar, even better. But I don't like to purchase them too often. I'd rather try to save those diamonds to, really get either the gold booster is sort of my minimum. I don't really use the 24-hour boosters very often. I usually try to just put the 6-hour one on. Um, I know a lot of people just use the lightning booster, but I ain't got that kind of money or diamonds, I should say.
yeah, those boosters get expensive. Even me, I try not to, not even I try not boost the cats and the single ones if unless it's a Leo or a Dan. But I try to only boost the ones that take up 2 spaces or higher.
Yep. No, that's a good point, right? I will boost Leos and resorts. But yeah, I'm not boosting commons. I mean, at one point when the Panthera was, and if I get a Panthera and that's the only thing I have to run with, like I got really terrible drops, no uncommons, or higher, then I'm sort of stuck with it. But typically, I don't like to boost commons.
Yeah, those Pantheras are a good sneaky ones right there. Those are really, really in the middle because they're commons, but yet they're two. They take two slots and they're not too expensive. You said it right. They used to be a lot more desirable, but they dropped the percentage a little. But it's a good business, I would say.
Yeah,
A
I
nice
mean
sneaky one.
it's usable. It's just not the best usability anymore.
Yeah, usable. Yeah, I like what you I like what you the way you put it. Yeah, it's usable.
Yeah, you're not gonna place as well as you would with like Pride Records or a Museo, right? But you're still gonna do okay. So I think like if I remember correctly, like when I would use them for like what is it, the first prestige, they would sort of be in that. I think it was 2000 or yeah, 2000 to like 3000 ish K range, right? So 2 to 3K. Um, whereas your uncommons would sort of be on that 5K, right? So they're almost double what you would get from the Panthera, and then your Museo would be closer to like your 8 to 10 ish, or maybe closer to your 6 to 8. Sorry, your 6 to 8. So a little bit better than what your uncommons are, which being an epic makes sense, but it also came with a little bit higher diamond cost. But your Museo is like basically 3 times better than a Panthera.
I would actually even say that the museum is the most sought after. After
100%.
the dance, I would say the way I like the way you say the De Leon.
De Leon.
The Leon, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
those are kind of pricey in the market, bro.
yeah. Well, you even see them in the normal market, right? Like they're minimum usually five or 50 crow, 50,000 vouchers. That's another thing. God, it confuses me with these bigger numbers now. It's like when it was Crow, it made more sense. Now with these vouchers, I'm just like, ugh, trying to spit it out. It's like word jumble in my mouth at this point. So sorry for tripping over my
So
tongue.
you're kind of getting it right. 1K, one crow. 2K, two crow. You know,
Oh yeah, it's hard though. I'm just sitting here looking at like a number. It's 1,000 to one.
where's the decimal? Where did the decimal point go?
Yeah. Well, and that's
All
one
right.
thing we forgot to mention when we were talking about it. And please, developers, please get rid of that 20% burn. Like when you convert Crow to vouchers, like losing 20% of your value, nobody's gonna want to do that. Nobody.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that. Second that. Come on, guys. If you want to get a little, for some reason, you want to, I don't know, get rid of bots, which is the reason that you guys said it was first. Put it at 5%. Like just, dude, like nobody's going to want to convert at 20% loss.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed 20% loss on your Crow value just to bring it
And,
into vouchers, which takes you another week to get back out of the game. Just
and like we
does
were saying, if for the shrimps and the little guys, it's no big deal. I mean, of course, it's a big deal. But when you're talking like, I want to change 1,000 crow and then 20%, that's was like 200 crow.
right, and that's like
If my
they're
maths.
yeah, it's crazy. Like that's $40 Canadian, just an instant
Yeah, no,
loss.
nobody got time for that.
No, exactly. So yeah, we've got the showdown starting, the New Year showdown starting, and was speaking on these voucher conversions. I just sort of wanted to touch on this weird, kind of thing where it's like any diamond spends, even last competition, right? And this next competition, they're being used for future competitions, right? Whereas before it was usually like a 70-30 split. So it's kind of
Mhm.
weird that both of these ones are, my assumption, feeding the Great War, the season two war.
Yeah, and I think it's because the difference between the ones that was 30-70 is that they were at least at least 1 week or 2 weeks long, and these are weekends. I think that's the main difference. The weekends, it's like you were saying earlier. Many people are stepping out. I saw Hayden on the leaderboard, so I know Hayden did play, but I know what he said is that he wasn't going to spend any money. So he's just playing with what he has because he's still kind of scored up there, but he's not put like he's waiting. And I understand him. I told him, like, the best way, I told the plaza, the best way to protest is for the whales to not spend any money. And so when they don't spend money, then that's when the developers are going to pay attention. And
Exactly.
Hayden say I'm gonna play, but I'm gonna stick to my guns, to my word that I'm not gonna spend anything.
No, exactly. And he follows through. He definitely follows through on what he says he's doing. So you got to respect him for that. And,
Yeah,
it makes sense, right? Like that just, if all the diamond spend is going to the next competition, the whales don't want to spend then. Like they're not, what's the point? Like really the big attraction for them, is that they spend money in the game to basically fight for bragging rights to be in the top, but they also get a good chunk of what they also spent back to them for being at the top.
yeah. From the vouchers that comes in the millions when you're in the top, to the NFTs that when you're in the top you get a lot of NFTs, and there's a lot of many opportunities in the NFTs that you get. And so I'm very excited for World War II because even okay, to bring it back to this to the weekend competitions. And like I said it earlier too, it was kind of good that the whales kind of like don't spend their money and they let us little guys get up there and collect these vouchers because again, nobody really wants to buy the vouchers. We rather compete for them.
Yeah, exactly. And this gives us, people that aren't interested in converting to vouchers the opportunity then to also purchase off of the whales or purchase off other people in the normal market, right? Like if I didn't win vouchers, I would not have bought that Apex, right? Because I would not have been converting Crow to go and buy an Apex.
There you go. Yeah, perfect example.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how this next showdown. This is the last one, supposedly. I'll say that
No, it should
supposedly
be.
before the Great
I
War.
know, right?
But yeah, I guess we can circle over then and start discussing just quickly the partnerships. There's not really much in the way of, I guess, updates at this point. I can start quickly with the Crazy Monsters. The only update that I've really gotten uh, is that they should, and as far as they are aware, they will be in prior to the season 2 competition. So we will have the Crazy Monsters as, and they are sided with the Void, I'm pretty sure. They will be likely, similar to what Mary is. So
Mhm.
providing similar, benefits as to what Mary is providing right now. So that'll be good, reduced cost on your attacks and increased duration. So yeah, we'll see how that
Yeah.
goes.
Uh-huh. And then the other thing is the monks that they're talking about a business, and then they mention a skin. So people, and I guess me included, we kind of like, most of us are kind of speculating if it's gonna be a business or if it's gonna be a skin for a business that we already have. But
I
I
hope
like
it's
that
not
picture
that.
that you send out. Yeah, you send out a picture that actually showed a house, right? Like an actual four slot business, I think it looks like.
Yes, yeah, no, that's the official. As far as I'm aware, that was what was shared in the monks' Discord as the design of the business, right? So that to me is screaming, this is what the business looks like, and these skins, which is what they're saying they're working on, are the variations of that business, right? So is it going to be a golden cap for the nut or whatever, or what, is it going to be a different colored stream or the colors, right? Like really is the big variation in the ornaments, right? So there's those slight skin changes, if we want to call it, and I am praying that that is what it is.
Yeah, no, and that makes sense now. Now that you're saying that, it makes sense when we compare it to the bazaar, because the bazaar is one business, but some of them have a robot, the other ones don't. So I'm thinking that's the skin that they're talking about, right? Like the little detail aesthetics of the business, but the actual business is the same. Like the bazaar is the same, but you may or may not get a little robot.
Yeah, exactly, right? And I mean, everybody wants the one with the robot, so I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, my robot is saying hi to me.
Exactly, right? I have mine on my main
Yeah.
land. He waves to me every time I sign in.
Or,
It's
or
great. But that's what I'm thinking the developers are describing as skin, right? So the business, right? The business doesn't need any development. They've got what they're looking at for what the business looks like. Though I have
like the
heard there is a,
mechanics, right?
what's that?
Like so they got like the mechanics and the basics. Like the skin is the
I
cosmetics, right?
I think they have the design of the business. I am hopeful too that they've also got the mechanics of the business done. So now it just comes down to the final details of the skins, the colors, and how it's going to be distributed. But I did hear, or it was circulated, that there is going to be a new feature for specific for this business, right? And that likely moving forward, partners are going to be using said new feature for their businesses as well. So, as to what that is, there has not been details shared. But I mean, I love to speculate. So maybe we could do a little bit of speculation now if you want. I mean, we're basically at the end of the podcast here, so um, I if I were to speculate on it, to me, I think it's going to be some sort of portal for whether it's going to be a portal to something that they're developing on their website backend, or it might be something built into the business. Maybe even just like another mansion, but it's the monk's mansion, right? You go in there and you decorate it with some new furniture, or maybe they'll let us spend nuts. That would be pretty cool. That would be nuts, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sorry, bad joke.
Pun intended.
Yeah. Um,
Pun definitely intended.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I've heard, right? And that's sort of what was released on the Monks Discord is that there is going to be a new feature. And that's what sort of caused this major delay is that they've been, one, focusing on getting the marketplace working correctly to combat bots and to combat insider trading. But they're also having a little bit of an issue getting whatever this new feature is integrated and working correctly on their test server to be able to push it out. So, to me, that's screaming it's not just a business to prestige. And I'm really excited to see because if it's true that it's not just a prestige business, right, to help you get your prestige requirements, but it's actually going to have a community function, right? And you have to have a monk to interact with the business and go in there or whatever, right? Um, I think that's going to be pretty cool if that comes out to be true.
I mean, those concepts are very interesting, and it makes it for a more coveted for the monks NFTs itself. If they have, I mean, look what happened to the Lord Lions NFTs too. They went up the roof because people are seeing the opportunities. So if there's a new business that has special features and that you can access better with the monks, that can even help out. Even going back to what we're talking about with Lion the Lionel about renting NFTs, right? So if I have a lot of monks and you need a monk to run the business, so maybe I can rent you one of my monks so that you're able to take advantage of the full features of the business. So that's very interesting because it also goes to the whole Web3 potential, right? The metaverse. They get more into not just like you said, prestiging up, but it could be more immersive.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm hopeful that main city's eventually going to go, right? Like we're in alpha still, right? We're laying the foundations, figuratively and literally when we're building our city here,
Literally.
right? So um, there's so much that they could build on top of it. I've had thoughts about like maybe they're gonna eventually get it so that we're able to walk around each other's cities. We can check out how we've laid out our cities and stuff like that. Maybe there's going to be sections that cycle through, and we're going to have a Call of Duty PF, person versus person shooter going through people's cities, and it changes all the time because everybody's always changing their cities around or something. Like that'd be so cool. There's supposed to be a world map coming. There's tons of stuff in the playbook that is just like, once it comes to fruition, it's going to be, I think, really a desirable game to be in. And, us as people that are sort of in it at the start, that's, where we're going to be, I guess, the kings of main city or whatever you want to call it. But, we'll be at that top where it's like we've already got all the good assets and we're still just playing the prestiging game, but we're able to play around with all these new features that come in. And, we've been so experienced with everything else going on that, and providing feedback too in the Discord, which is, if you have feedback, anybody that's listening, make sure you're in the Discord, you know, tell the CMs whatever you want. And they try to get it over to the devs. Whether they actually do or the devs actually listen, I don't know. But there's been a few things that have been recommended that have been implemented. So they definitely are paying attention to something. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just
Yeah, that's
excited for the
absolutely
future.
right.
Go. Sorry.
That's right. The potential.
Yeah, sorry I cut you off there. You were just gonna say potential there.
No, no, no. You're good. You no. We're talking about the same thing. The potential of the game, and like how you were saying, how the CMs. Speaking of feedback, we were talking. I think it was Curious NFT. That we would love to show off how we grind the little plants to throughout the mansion so that you can get the experience, the XP up, so that you
Yes,
can
the
get the
carpal
avatar
tunnel
level up,
walls. The carpal tunnel clay.
right? Yeah, the carpal tunnel bragging rights, you
Right.
know. So we were able to like kind of show the whole mansion with all the rooms, showing that was everything in the room, But now when we go to the mansion, it has like every room kind of has like if it was a roof, if you will, and you have to kind of click on the room to be able to show what's in the room. But before we were able to see the bird eye view and be able to see everything that was in the mansion. So we were kind of there was some comments in the feedback that it would be good because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the reason that they said that is to save some of the memory because some of the graphics that flash a lot, they take up a lot of memory. And so we were talking about, okay, I'm willing to use some of the memory or my computing power to be able to like brag about my mansion and the setup that is on the room, all the rooms. Yeah, so that was a little feedback, and it goes back to what you were saying, like when we speak up, because one of the CMs, when somebody mentioned it, they're like, "Well, if we get enough people to talk about it, then we'll bring it up to the feedback." So as a community, when we and as citizens of Main City, when we want changes that we believe in, we've got to support those changes and speak up. You know.
Exactly. And that's something I think that they had changed right around the time that the monks were introduced and integrated. Um, and that's definitely what I think it was, is a reduction on processing power. With all those in-game assets, if you've got, your, what is it, 2,000 plants placed throughout the mansion, it's a lot to load, right? So that was, I think, their sort of workaround, is just like, we're only going to load one room at a time instead of loading all of the graphics for all of the rooms, which, I don't hate it, but I would like you said, the option to be able to toggle it on, even just for a brief moment, to take a screenshot and be like, look at my mansion, right? This is what it looks like now. Um, so yeah, we'll see.
Hmm.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
definitely.
because I actually just sent. I'm sorry. I actually just sent a picture of what my, that room. Is it a Hagar? Is that what it's called? Where the Lamborghini is and all those
Yep. Yeah,
things.
the hanger.
The hangar? Okay, yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm tired of just seeing my room just there because I can't put any more furniture into like like maybe 20 more prestigious up. So I'm like, let me at least like rearrange it in a way that I look, it looks nice. And so I took a picture for anybody who hasn't seen it. Go to X, or just even I think I put it in the Discord on their gallery,
Yep. No,
and
I think
just
you did have it
just
on
to
the
make
gallery.
the mansion look good. Uh-huh.
Which prestige are you on right now?
Let me see. My main land is I'm at 117.
Oh, so you at 117. So did you place all the TVs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're now on the grind that I was on. And I just broke that grind. So I can finally place furniture again. And like we were talking last time, I want to save placing that furniture until the business for the monks is introduced, just in case blueprints are set at the time you receive it. I just want to make sure that, and nothing is stopping me from getting this business. I
Oh,
want it.
definitely not.
Yeah, no, I want one. So I'm just saving up. Um,
We deserve one as monk holders. We deserve one.
right? Especially,
And yes, I'm acting entitled. Yes, we deserve one.
that's what I put that in the feedback. I think that as a monk holder, right? And I guess this is where it gets kind of difficult, because it's like, well, can somebody just trade monks around amongst friends and just keep redeeming? So it'd almost have to like track each monk's redemption on it. But then it's like, how do you know you bought a monk that hasn't had the business redeemed? Or is there like a window where it's like, hey, you can redeem once if you have a monk in your account, and then after this window, we're going to only have it via the blueprints? Or, maybe you just
It should be
say,
a one-time drop. It should be a one-time drop. Whoever's holding the business, a monk by this snapshot, and maybe not even give a notice.
Yeah,
Like if you're supposed to own it, okay. So we took a snapshot of the owners. These guys are getting airdropped.
yeah. Hey, I'd be down for that. If have you, or even just a snapshot of have you equipped a monk yet, right? And if you have a monk
Mhm.
equipped, then you get the business. If you don't have a monk equipped, well, what are you doing? Go buy a monk.
You know, if you have it in your inventory and you don't have it equipped, I don't know what you're doing with your life now. I'm playing.
Right? Like you're able to equip like 50 avatars and you're definitely not equipping, 50 cubs. That doesn't make sense. But
Oh, that's right. I have 30 out of 50 filled up. See, I still got 20 more to go.
yeah, I think I've got a decent amount. I'm at 35.
Nice.
Yeah, I do have 50, so I could equip all 50 if I wanted, but it's like I have a bunch of dark lions and at that point it's like what's the point of equipping all these dark lions? Like my next dark
Because
if the
you
next dark
can.
lion I get is a
Also,
buff duration
that's
and
how much
zero
of a
heal.
legend you are. Huh? I'm so much of a legend that I got dark lines that I want to equip.
Hey, I got them locked in the dungeon. They're in jail right
There
now.
you go.
Uh,
Yeah, so you got them just to put them in. Yeah, that's a good one. Man, these dark lions, I have them on timeout right now.
exactly. That's what we need. We need a jail. We got banks, right? We need jails now. Where's the jails? Especially because you
Ooh,
guys got all the
imagine a
monks
real
locked up.
business.
You guys got a bunch of monks locked up.
Damn.
You and Hayton and Void Major. He's got tons of them.
What you what? Dark lions?
Monks.
Oh, monks. Well, yeah, no, I think Hayden has 40 because I think he's getting 4 customs. I got 10 because I wanted a one custom.
Yeah, I bought. Well, actually, I got one given to me, so I didn't have to mint 20. But I did have 20 of them. 22 actually. Um, won a couple here and there and whatnot. So I'm getting two customs.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited for them. They're looking real good already. I got the previews.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I'll send them to you after this if you want to see them. But
Yeah. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I've seen some of the other players that kind of put a little preview, but it looks like they do take in consideration the details that you send them, right?
yes, yeah, they do. Yep. So I'm hopeful. It sounded like they are burning some monks coming up soon too. That they either had airdropped or bought off the market. Because the floor is really low right now. Like I think it's like what, like 35 to $40. So like basically half of the mint price at this point. So, it's if you're on the sidelines right now and you're looking for something that's gonna, boost your gold, your XP, and your diamond production, I mean, I guess arguably diamonds, you'd maybe be better off buying yourself a land, but if you've already got a couple dunes, maybe pick yourself up a monk.
Yeah, and like you said, who knows? By the time the new business comes out, maybe all you need is one monk to get that business. So take advantage of these opportunities.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm hoping for. I do, and I hate saying, I hate, I guess, being a beggar, if you want to say. It's like, give me free stuff, but it's like, come on. I bought these NFTs to support the game. The least you can do is give me the business that's supposed to come with it.
Yeah. No, and it's fair for all of us too, Like, there should be if that happens, it makes it better for the next projects to sell out because they'll be like, okay, I'm gonna need to get that project to get this business. And in crypto.com, we're all about opportunities. We're all about being brave. We're all about,
Yeah, and I mean, we're also, very supportive when it comes to projects that make sense, right? So, I think they're 36. I just looked them up right now, and there's a bunch right now for $36. You can get a little referee guy, you can get a little chef guy. Oh, this guy with the mustache and the little lifesaver, the buoy. There's some pretty funny looking. I
Uh-huh.
mean, there's some cool ones. Some
And they give you the bonus in main city, right?
Yeah, yep. You get just for having one, it's 0.9% increase. Actually, I just had it up on the in-game thing. You just go with the playbook, so I am quoting it verbatim and correctly. But I know it's zero point 0.9 for your gold. Yep. So cash income 0.9%, diamond bonus increase is zero point 0.3, and XP bonus is zero point 0.6. That being said, so they are 60% of what a cub is, right? But the cub floor price right now is like $90, I think, 85,
Mm.
in between 80 and $90. Whereas these you can get one for 36. So
And the Cubs don't have their own business yet.
exactly. Yet. Maybe they'll have an exclusive room in the mansion.
Yeah, no. So yeah, anybody out there, if you this podcast is all about main city. So everything that we say is related to main city. We love these projects that are coming on. Everything is just our experience to main city. We love main city, and we love all these projects getting incorporated into them.
Yeah, no, exactly. We do want to try to keep this main city focused. But we make from time to time, right? Like the Lion project, it's main city ish, right?
They a
But
crossover, right? It's a crossover because they are sending prices to the main city tops, so it's main city related.
yeah, exactly. It's not backed by main city. It is a community project, but with it being, heavily influenced and a lot of the utility around this project being focused on main city, at least at the start. That's why we sort of wanted to talk about it. And if there's other projects that come up from the Fam family and whatnot, we would like to maybe bring them up and discuss it. We're not here to shill. This is not financial advice when we say to buy anything. We're just we're passionate and excited about these NFTs. So do your own research, obviously.
Right.
I mean, if you have to preference this at this point in the market, I mean, congratulations for figuring out what crypto is. I guess, like, because
Yeah,
the more
yeah,
time,
and how it can really be used for games, because you could be playing Call of Duty and you buy a weapon, but that's it. You can't do anything with it. But these NFTs are actual value. They help you out to get actual, crow vouchers. They're real valuable. If you don't want to play no more, you can always sell it back to the market.
yep, and you can list all your businesses for one crow. I mean, 1,000 vouchers, and I will buy them. Don't worry.
They won't go to waste.
Yep, exactly. No, but that's the thing, right? Like you spend time. It's passive, really. Like this game, you log in, you play, a couple times a day. Maybe you play all day. Most people aren't on it all the time, but you slowly build up your city, and those are assets also within the game that you can sell, right? You can sell your really nice business and pull out those vouchers into Crow. Might take a week, but it's there. It's not a slush fund, right? It's still an in-game asset, but there's that ability to put some time and some effort, every single day into the game, and eventually you're going to be able to, pull a little bit of money out of that. Or, for myself, I haven't really pulled much money out of it. I have a little bit from competition wins and put them into meme coins, but there's really the community aspect that I like of it, right? The main city Discord, lots of great people in there. And, even within the Legion and the Void Discords, they're all the same people, but, even more helpful if you're part of their group, right? So it's the community, the Crow fam aspect of it that I really like. And that's sort of what keeps me as bullish as I can be for it. Even when the developers make stupid decisions like a 20% conversion rate. I'm not giving it up until it's gone.
Yeah, I can second that. And yeah, I like what you said about even though it's Void and Legion, we're all in the city, in the main city plaza. That's where we all get together. The plaza is the best way to get all the alpha, all the info, and yeah, where we're here to say how much we love things. And speaking of what you were saying of how people can literally just like get up by playing, you don't have to start off like a whale. You can literally start just from free to play. And the perfect example that we keep talking about, it's Woodrow. I think that's the name, right?
Yeah, that guy is.
Yeah. So
I
he
would
got
love to talk to him. Maybe one day we'll get him on here, but yeah, he's started from literally nothing, and everything that he's any NFT that he owns now has either been won from competition or purchased using Crow that he's either gotten from business sales or gotten from competition mode wins. So, and I think he's got a Dune, a couple Dark
through a
Lions.
giveaway. He got a Dune. That's how he started. He started with a Dune through a giveaway, and then I think it was one of Gary's spaces. And I think he got it from Papa Bigfoot. I'm not don't you know this is the legends, from what I remember. And because I've been in spaces since the beginning, since I used to be in the spaces with 420, Pharaoh 420. But anyways, yeah, Woodrow, he said that he got his first land through a giveaway, and that's what got him into the game. And everything from there, just like you said it, he either sold his actual businesses and then just bought more lands. Or he got something else from a giveaway. I think it was a backpack and a land that he got on giveaways. But like you said, we would love to have him on, and so he can tell his story.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, sure, okay, somebody might say, well, that's not really, he started off free to play, but it's like, well, I mean, you can still get really good diamond generation, right? Like, I think the base is if you get everything that doesn't cost vouchers, you're able to have something like 2.5 million diamonds per hour, which is pretty good and can, place you in the top 1,000 no problem if you know how to play, right? You could even probably get to the top 500 without an issue with that type of diamond generation. Well, maybe
If
not.
you stay active and yeah.
Some competitiveness. Do need to play, I imagine, pretty actively to get into the top 500. At this point, there's a decent amount of people playing with good strategies. So, um, but it's not unheard of, and it's not impossible. So even starting now, just building up your arids and things like that are all small feats that daily activity will achieve.
And that's a good point that you brought up the arids, because every new land that you get from the arids, it's gonna carry the gain, those extra diamonds. You're gonna carry it on the competition. So that's a good incentive to keep grinding in normal mode, because every new arid that you get, you're gonna carry those benefits into the competition.
Exactly. Yeah. No, my next one's like 1 billion. I'm skipping it.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I want to get into. I think I'm about to buy. I was moving Crow around, and I think I'm just gonna buy the Aurora. Is that the second rarest?
Yep. Yeah. The alluring aurora.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna buy one of those after we finish the podcast.
What's their floor price right now?
I think it was like 40 something. Let me see.
I think the last
And again,
like
for all of you guys that huh?
75 bucks.
75. And for anybody that's still here for the podcast, shout out to all you guys for being hardcore. And yes, this is what you get all the info. And what was it? 75?
Yes, $75 for the rares, the alluring auroras. Um,
Yeah, so imagine I'm gonna buy it with a little bit of profits from here, a little bit of profits from there, and a little bit of vouchers. And yeah, you can literally And I got that inspiration from Woodrow today. I was like, yeah, I can, exchange some crow that I've got already from blueprints and things that I've sold.
Yeah, hey,
And
and maybe
yeah, guys.
pull a little bit of money out of the monk royalties.
Oh, for reals, I haven't claimed that yet.
Yeah, there's probably some crow there for you. So yeah, for reference,
Yeah.
the starter, which is your dunes, they are $38 right now. Your rares, like I said, were 75, and there's two at that price. And then your epics, which are your sapphire lagoons, they're at 200. And then after that one, that 200 sells, then they're up to 218. And we've got the legendaries, which are your molten caverns. We're looking at 688. Ah, man, I wish I would have bought another one when I saw they're at like under 600. Just didn't have the liquidity. Instead, I bought another chain gang lion, loaded lion. Mythics, they're expensive. The cheapest one right now is 3,387. But remember, there is only 247 mythics, and they negate Savannah Bandit, which is a pretty big deal, really. So, but a little bit too steep for me. Maybe one day.
Yeah, and also their diamond generation is like the highest, right?
Yeah, it's something like I think it might even almost be a million on its own, or 800,000 or something like that. Um, Let me just check real quick here. If I remember where it's located. Did just do a video on where to find all the stuff, but I'm still terrible at navigating this playbook. Blockchain is 750,000 base per hour.
Yeah, almost a million.
And to put
And
it into
that's
perspective, it's 190,000 more than the Molten Cavern, which is at 560K per hour.
mm,
So, and like we were
yeah. So like
mentioning earlier, so like this is where arids are normally 215, but if you have an NFT, right, which is if you get a Crimson Dune, which is the starter NFT, then your arids get an extra 35, right? So they get bumped up to 240.
oh nice.
Yeah. So it does pay, build up those arids, but then once you get to that point, it's like, okay, I can get an arid, or sorry, get a Crimson Dune, and then now I get
Mhm.
my arid gets bumped up as well. Right. So now you're getting even more diamonds for getting that first NFT. So little incentive there if you've been stacking your arids and have sort of been sitting on the fence. Grab yourself a
Yeah,
Dune.
or even yeah, even that starter pack, that one player that wants to start off, and like we said, just a little dune, and
Yeah.
you start building up from there.
Yeah, a dune, a couple backpacks, a flashlight, a navigator pad. Next thing you know, you took your 2.5 million diamonds per hour and you're at 3.5.
And then you get on the competition, and you get on the top 1,000. You don't even have to get in the 1,000. It's not so much effort, especially once they got rid of the bots. And once you get in the top 1,000, you get free NFTs. So if you happen to get a good NFT, you start building from there on.
I do want to maybe just correct you there. That was what was happening during the blitzes. I
Yeah.
am not 100% certain, so I just want to backtrack a little bit just to make it clear. We're not saying that the future competition, the Great War, like the next season, is giving away NFTs. We're just assuming that there will be NFTs for at the top 1,000, just because that's what was given
Yeah.
away during the blitz as well. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
during the
Thank you for
showdowns
that
though.
too. Because it might, yeah, now that you were saying that, I was like, yeah, not even for this weekend. Don't expect NFTs this weekend.
Yes, yeah. No, nothing for showdowns. It was given out during the blitzes. There were NFTs for the blitz. And what was there
For
for the
the
first?
First World War, there was, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yes. Oh, there was because I remember being very disappointed that I sold my business and then got kicked out of the top 500. That was back when I
Yeah,
just
so
started. I was a baby.
hey, we've been there. We've all been there. Trust me. Look, I think the first one, one of those, I didn't even make it. I think it was the second one. I didn't make it to the 1,000.
Luckily, I've always been in the top 1,000, but it really depends. Like because back then the way that they calculated the leaderboard was way different too, right? Like people bought in at the last minute and could easily buy
Yeah,
positions. So with this new leaderboard mechanics, it's a little less likely that you're gonna significantly lose your place, right? You basically need to like drop down to zero income, and you might lose like 100 positions if at worst case. But if you're in the top 100, like I think the most that I've sort of lost in positions, but I do play actively enough to keep my position. I think the most that I lost was like 30, and that was like um, mostly because I was trying to sell some businesses and pull some profit that way. But I've learned from that mistake.
yeah. And that's what happened to me this last weekend because I was like kind of doing so good, but then like the family time kicked in, and I think I went from like the last time I checked in, I was in the 60s, and I ended up in the 90s. So I was like, not only was I not putting in points, but I'm pretty sure I was being attacked left and right because I had no defense or anything. I had no engagement. But I'm glad I still got in the top 100s.
Oh, I passed you. I saw you fully opened. I was like, ooh, there's DJ. I could hit him.
Hey, it's so good, bro. If you see it,
Like I
attack.
said, I'm a retaliator. I like to sit on it,
Oh,
and
yeah, you were saying earlier.
if you hit me, I'll hit you back. But unless I'm really hurting for a booster and really just need that extra little, I don't know what you want to call it, but just that little extra boost on the businesses,
Yeah.
I'll do a couple attacks. But typically, it's just hitting people that hit me.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, you save diamonds that way too.
Yeah, no. Which ironically, I think I attack Legion imposters is what we call them more often than I actually hit the void. Because there's a few that just keep attacking anybody. And it's like, well, I'm gonna hit you back. You're gonna be a dick.
Yeah, yeah, we get some of those too in Void too. They get rug, no names, but we know the names that be, we're all full. Oh, you want to attack the Void? Okay.
Yeah,
Now you're green lighted.
yeah, exactly.
It's green light for you.
No, we're starting to develop a list. So if anybody's listening, don't be attacking Legion. You'll be put on a list.
Uh-huh. Same here.
Santa's
No,
naughty
no, no
list.
same faction attacking.
Exactly. But right on. I guess really that's basically what we really wanted to talk about today. With a little bit of extra floor price of NFTs and stuff. Maybe we could just, last little thing maybe to touch on if I can find the tab. I'm just going to keep flipping through all of my main city or all my crypto.com tabs here, and I don't have it open. Trying to find the loaded
And,
lions and dark lions, see what their floor price is just to complete the circle here.
in the
So,
meantime, if anybody is still here, go ahead and just put any feedback, anything that you have, any comments, any questions, anything that you want us to talk about in the next podcast. Let us know. We're happy to learn. We're happy to find out. If we don't know, it's not because we don't know. It's because we don't know yet. We're gonna find out all the information. Any questions that you have, we'll research, and we're here for the community.
exactly. Yeah, no, definitely we're here to try to keep the community as informed as possible, right? Because there's a lot to go through and a lot of information in the playbook and a lot of stuff to keep up to date on Discord. So it can be overwhelming. But
Yeah, and we try to digest it all here in the way that we love it. And I love this guy, and we have fun doing this.
exactly, like you said, we could talk for days about this shit.
For real.
Like we're already at an hour 40, so sorry for the long podcast. Uh, all right,
That's what I'm saying. You still here? Go ahead.
I got it. Okay, so like we were mentioning earlier, loaded lines have done quite the jump in floor price. I believe it was like not even a month and a half ago, they were like 700 US. Right now, they're at the cheapest one, and there is three of them on the floor at $2,200,
What? Wow.
which
Nah.
is what $27 more than what I just bought that last loaded lion for. The last chain gang one I bought. I'm pretty sure I bought it
And that
just a hair under 2,200.
and that's chain gang. That's the one of the most sought after uh lions to be among. The chain gang. Salute.
Yeah, can't quite
Salute.
afford the crypto.com crown, so I gotta I gotta sport the chain gang. uh,
Nice. Good
Dark
catch.
Lions floor, just for interest's sake here. So there's one at 11 or 1,000 or yeah 1,000. Fuck. Oh man, I'm going to sell some Dark Lions. uh,
What?
$111.
I'm like, damn, I should have been selling now, man.
Right. So yeah, $111 for a Dark Lion. Then there's one,
Nice.
and then basically the floor jumps up from there. There's a 112 and then 115. And then there's a bunch at 115. So if you're interested, go look through. There's a couple here that I would pick up. I mean, I've already got enough, but the first one at 115 with the red background. There's a few decent looking ones here. A couple with
And
some rare
especially because
weapons.
of the benefits that it brings to the game. Like going back, I'm sorry to cut you off, bro. But going back to the benefits of the game, yeah, that's pretty good for getting benefits, right? Just picking it up for get benefits.
Yeah. Well, and one other benefit that a lot of people may not realize is that because the Dark Lions are the arguably the companion-ish to the Loaded Lions, they're usually eligible for a lot of the giveaways and a lot of the white listings for NFTs, right? So there's a lot of giveaways like tickets and
Mhm.
sports events and concerts and stuff like that at the crypto.com arena.
Yep,
Dark
yep,
Lions are
yep.
also eligible for that. So, I
That's
I mean, even
very
this
true. That's a
one at
good point.
111, I'd pick that one up in a heartbeat.
Yeah, use the benefits alone of the crypto.com. You're absolutely right. I totally forgot about that, and thank you for bringing it up because we can realize what this whole game is about. The lands, it's called First Frontier for a reason. We're the ones that are early. We're the first testers. We're helping out the developers. And yeah, like you said, the Dark Lions already give you benefits to get tickets to go, to real events, real life events.
Exactly, and just wait when they're probably next in line as well. I don't want to guarantee it, but I can see it probably coming down the pipeline. Dark Lions are also going to be giving you a rewards plus, right? The Loaded Lions right now do it. They'll probably get a little bit of a booster, and then the Dark Lions might come in and do one plus on rewards, and Dark Line or the Loaded Lions would give you two. So not guaranteeing
Yep.
that, but that's something that could easily come into play, right? There's also only 10,000 Dark Lions, just like there's only 10,000 Loaded Lions. So there's a lot of potential for the floor to increase, and there's some really cool ones out there. So keep your eyes out.
And yeah, you know what? I didn't even know that it was the same amount of Dark Lions to Lord Lions, and I think that's it's making the Dark Lions a little bit underrated.
I think so. I mean, I hold a bunch of them, so I'm
I
bullish.
think I have like 8 or 10 of them too.
Oh, yeah, I had
And that's why I
20.
like showing them off every time I get a chance, because boy, baby.
Yeah. I bought when they first came out, I was just buying up all the cool weapons before they got integrated because I was hoping that, there was going to be like a little bit more of a complex battle mechanism where it's like if your loaded lion or sorry, your dark lion had melee weapons, right? They were going to be
Mhm.
able to boost your like a specific attack, like say like For example, the Savannah Bandit, right? Like if they had the melee weapon, they'd come in and they'd do this type of attack damage, and then if they had the long range weapons, maybe they'd be better at a different attack, right? So I thought
Yeah.
there might be some interplay on the weapons traits. So I was buying up some of the ones with really rare weapons.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, yeah, there was nothing, but they look cool.
Dude, I know. I bought some of them for like 300, bro, because I just liked the way they were. It was early, but again, like knowing that, like what you said, that there's the same amount, 10,000, 10,000. I think I like the ones I picked.
Yeah, no. Now you just need. Do you have a chain gang one?
I don't think I do.
You
I
gotta.
have a club that it's a crypto.com t-shirt. It has that crypto.com tee. That's my favorite club, Cyber Club.
Nice. Speaking of which, Cyber Cubs are $85 right now, and a Cyber Cub with a Crypto.com T-shirt, $98. That's the cheapest one you could find.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool looking one. He's got a nice little grin with a hammer.
I know this I have another one that it has the 3D glasses, the blue and red.
Oh, you got the 3D glasses on the Cubs?
Yeah.
Nice. I do not.
Um,
I don't think I have that trait yet. Um, I don't have. I don't have that many Cubs. I mean, I was starting to buy them when they were still over $100, so they've definitely come down in
and they were
price.
airdrop, right?
I didn't. I never had a loaded lion when they got airdropped.
But that's how they got introduced, right? For loaded lions, they
Yes,
were airdrop like a cyber for every loaded lion. They got a cyber cub.
that is correct. Yep.
So these are we believe that we're gonna keep getting those kind of rewards with the lands and everything. Again, no financial advice, but everything is so early with Main City, and so yeah, we appreciate everybody that's listening.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. I mean, at this point, I think we should just maybe call her. We're coming up on quarter to 2 hours here, so
Yeah,
otherwise, yeah, it's going to
yes.
be another
Any
3 hour conversation.
any last minute? I mean, closing statements. Anything you wanna?
No, other
Yes.
than I guess Happy New Year. We'll be this is going to be out tomorrow morning, so leading into New Year's Eve. So, I mean, if you're spending your New Year's Eve, thank you for joining us on this long chit chat about Main City. Other than that, we'll catch you in the new year and maybe even see you on the leaderboard for the New Year Showdown.
Yes, yes, yes. Same here. Thank you guys for having us here. You're always gonna have if you wanna listen to this right away, subscribe to our wings. Okay, of course, subscribe to mine too, but it's gonna be always on our wings because I pick it up afterwards. And so yeah, you can have it on both of us. We appreciate your time. Like you said, happy New Year's, and we do hope to see you on the leaderboard because those vouchers are good to buy businesses blueprints and they come in handy, and it's going to be the last time that we're going to be able to kind of play in the next round. The big boys are really going to come in and it's going to be very competitive. So really use this last weekend to really try to sharpen the knives and try to get the skills going. It's going to be the first time that we're going to be using the auction. So yeah, guys, make sure you really get into this competition. And
Yeah.
thank you, Arwin, for always keeping it together, bro.
No, thank you very much for joining me, and yeah, we'll have to chit chat some more Main City in the new year. We'll maybe see if we can get something like bi-weekly or whatnot. I mean, if anybody has a recommendation of what their attention span's at, I think probably bi-weekly might be the easiest for both of us to coordinate. But we'll get something figured out and try to do regular enough updates. Maybe we can keep it under an hour next time.
Yeah. Yep.
Hard though.
I mean, the hardcore ones are gonna be like, yeah, we appreciate everything. But yeah, if you guys, like you said, let us know. Let us help us to shape this podcast. So give us all the feedback that you guys can give us, and it's very appreciated.
Exactly. And definitely check down in the links down below. I'll try to get a link for the Void Discord as well, and I'll put the one for Legion. So everybody's welcome in the Legion. I know most people are also, you're welcome to join the Void, if I could speak for the guys
Yeah,
over there.
everybody's welcome in the
Uh,
void.
so definitely check out both ones. If you're sort of trying to find your home, get into both Discords and into their unverified chats and just talk with some of the people in there. And definitely join the Discord for Main City. And, I'm usually in there, try to check in a couple times a day and chit chat a little bit. So if you see me in there, say hi. And if you got questions, by all means, ask away in either of those Discords. And if you got any other specific questions, reach out to me on X or put them down here in the comments below. But thank you very
Yes,
much,
yes, yeah.
DJ. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to DJ Oracle. He's working on a quality, what is it, quality 8 now?
8. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Quality 8 records.
I'm I'm so excited. I can't wait to see when you have a quality 10. That's going to be epic.
Yeah, let's get to the 8 first.
All right.
Hey, thank you again, Arwin, for having us together, bro.
All right. Thank you very much for joining me as well. We'll catch you guys in the next one.